Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back. Force here with a little story to share. So this afternoon I logged on to Steam thinking, let me check out the daily deals for today. And going through the list, I'm like, Torchlight 2, XCOM, Far Cry 3, Magicka, Van Helsing. These are some good games. What? Infestation Survivor Stories. Yes, another zombie game. So I click on Infestation Survivor Stories and I take a look at the information about the game. I'm reading through it, and I'm thinking, well, this sounds mighty familiar. Infestation Survivor Stories is a survival horror MMO that immerses players in the zombie-infested post-apocalyptic world. Okay, that's generally the setting for most zombie games, but then I started looking through the screenshots and I said, no, this looks really familiar. This looks exactly like the War Z. Well, it turns out it is exactly the War Z with a brand new name, and hence the reason for this video. I wanted to warn you guys that Infestation Survivor Stories is just a renaming of the War Z. Now, after doing a bit of research, it looks like this actually happened, I think, a few weeks to a month ago, where they went through the rename process. But it's worth letting you guys know about now because it's on the front of the Steam page during the Steam summer sale. And I want to warn you guys, just so that you know, that you're actually just buying the War Z. Now, this isn't to say don't buy this game. I don't have a great opinion of the War Z, which is now Infestation Survivor Stories, but this is just to let you know that they are the same game. It's just been a rebranding for them to, I don't know, their reason was because of similarities to the DayZ mod and the War Z novel and the War Z movie that just came out. But frankly, if you would like my honest opinion, this is a rebranding because their game got slammed when it released. Now, if you don't remember, there was a ton of bad press surrounding the War Z at launch. First of all, it launched as an incomplete product, but it said it was complete. So people purchased the game on Steam thinking they were getting a complete game. There was this whole list of features that they were supposed to have. And then when they logged in, a majority of those features weren't there, and shortly after they were like, oh, the game's not actually full. Those are planned features for the future, of which, mind you, most of which have not been implemented as of this date as far as I'm aware. And besides that debacle, there was the whole bit about them copying and pasting the terms of service from League of Legends and trying to use it as their own, borrowing images from other games, and just a whole slew of things that would lead people to believe these developers aren't doing the best job here and might not have the best intentions. So this is a warning video letting you guys know once again that Infestation Survivor Stories is in fact the War Z. I thought the game was pretty terrible when I played it. I don't know if it's much better right now, but that, again, this isn't an update about the game as so much as it is informing you guys that if you see this on the front of the Steam page during the Steam Summer Sale, and if you're thinking about purchasing it, I want you to know what you're purchasing. It's really kind of annoying to me when companies do this. I think it was not too long ago when we had the change from Orion Dino Horde to Orion Dino Beatdown, or vice versa. That was a game that the original game was very poorly received, and then they did the renaming, and in doing that switch, they were able to sort of dodge Metacritic scores or review scores because they've got a brand new name. So if people search for this game under the new name, they're not going to get all of that bad press from before. And this feels like it's the exact same thing. In fact, on the Steam page, the Metacritic score that was for the War Z is no longer there. Now, whatever you feel about Metacritic, it's an aggregate of people's opinions of the game. So the aggregate of people's opinions of the game of the War Z was really bad, and people would have seen that, but now because of this new name and that Metacritic score not being there anymore, people aren't going to know that this game, the public perception was really bad. Now, granted, if the company's changed the game a ton, and if it's so much better now, and if they think it's deserving of a new name so people give it a second shot, I understand that, but if you launch a product that's so terrible that it gets panned across the board, should you get a second chance at that product by just renaming it? I don't know if that's necessarily the case. So that about does it for me, guys. Once again, just wanting to let you know Infestation Survivor Stories is, in fact, the War Z. It's the same game. I didn't think the War Z was good. Maybe they've made some fantastic changes, but and now at least you are that much more informed. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.